Along Africa's western coastline, new gates began to open, not into the continent, but into the world. In the 15th century, European mariners began exploring Africa's Atlantic coast. Their objective was clear: to find direct access to gold from West Africa. They had learned of gold being transported across the Sahara and sought a new route by sea. This marked a turning point. Trade routes that once moved across the desert began to shift towards the coast. Ports emerged as key centers of exchange, linking Africa directly to Europe. At first, these interactions were driven by commerce, gold, goods, and exchange. European traders established outposts along the coast, creating new points of contact. Over time, this coastal engagement began to reshape Africa's economic landscape. Power shifted from inland trade networks to coastal access points. This era highlights a key transformation. Control of trade routes determines economic influence. Today, Africa's ports and trade corridors remain critical, from Lagos to Mombasa to Durban. The gateways still matter because those who control access often control opportunity.
We've got just what you need right here at Femi Wash Media. Call it the Midas Touch and you wouldn't be wrong. Let us record, produce, mix and master your audio like nobody does. Reach us on our contact today for the best quality job.
The city of Agbo has been home to many illustrious sons and daughters of this nation, from legal luminaries, industry leaders, business moguls, sportsmen and women, the academia, entertainers, political juggernauts, to mention but a few. Because of its peculiar location connecting the southeastern to northwestern Nigeria, it is a melting pot of both commercial and agricultural services with a diverse population of residents and settlers. When Dickens Ogeneruemu Patrick Sanomi courted and eventually married the delectable Mabel Iyabo Sanomi, little did he know that their fifth child, Igor Charles Sanomi, who was born 17th May 1975, was going to place the Sanomi family name on the world map for the very right reasons. Dickens was the second vice president of the Urobo Progressive Union (UPU) and an Assistant Inspector General Police (AIG) in the Nigerian Police Force. His mother was a Yeye Jemo tribal chief of the Ishotun Ijesha Kingdom in Osun State and also a nurse. Patrick's father did practice law in England before returning to Nigeria. Igor obtained his bachelor's degree in geology and mining from the University of Jos. Like many before him, achieving the level of stride he has made didn't come by sheer wishes. His interest in the oil and gas sector was sparked in his final year at the university. He had a friend who interned in a local physical oil trading company, First Froze, and every day that he came back, he talked unendingly about the things he had learned and the prospects in the oil and gas sector. Overwhelmed by the persistent talks by his friend, if you call it that, the desire for physical trading grew on him, creating a lasting impression on him. So while many of his colleagues daydreamed about the prospect of working in one of the major oil and gas companies in the country, after graduation, the prospect of trading never left him for a second. In his final year at the university, he voraciously read everything on physical trading he could lay his hands on, looking for a more appropriate time to get into the business. He did find the opening he was looking for. Back then, it was common for local Nigerian businessmen to bid for fuel import contracts from the state-owned oil company, and then, upon winning the contracts, they resold the contracts to foreign oil trading companies for a tidy sum without lifting a finger. But for him, this was the break he had anticipated for a long time. He set out to get some of these businessmen who won the contract and offered them a mouth-watering deal they couldn't resist. Igor is the founder of Talaveras, a $2 billion company. Now, if you heard his feat, you would have thought it was but a walk in the park. But if only you look closely, you will know it is far from that. Talaveras at its prime moved more than 170 million barrels of crude oil and oil products yearly, and has upstream and downstream assets in a number of African countries. For many who are close to him, Igor is rather media shy. The company in 2008 began to appear on the radar of the most Nigerians when it stated that its offshore trading arm hit a turnover exceeding $2 billion. In 2005, during the oil bidding round organized by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Talaveras won 2 oil blocks. Then, following a crude swap arrangement with Duke Oil Incorporated, a subsidiary of NNPC, Talaveras also benefited. In the same vein, Talaveras in 2013 acquired a stake in the 900 megawatt Afam power plant in Rivers State. Additionally, in 2014, the company invested a minority stake in the IOTO consortium that acquired prolific OML-29 from Shell. Local companies that had the capacity to engage in the oil sector were strongly encouraged to participate in the bid for government tenders. In April 2022 of 2010, the Local Content Act became law and Talaveras met the criteria. True to his nature, he expressly said that he had never at any point obtained any contract through dubious means. With nothing left but faith, hope and trust in the future, Igor plunged ahead after he failed to make the list of successful bidders for the 2017/2018 crude oil term contract when it was announced in January 2017. This was one of the unsavory moments in his career. When Talaveras didn't get renewal of its crude for products exchange, which it had operated for 3 years, by the then President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. This dealt a big blow to Talaveras because it had earlier entered forward contract and base revenue projection models on it. Many who long awaited its fall thought long and hard how Talaveras was going to replace these revenue streams. But like a phoenix from the ashes, Talavera's rose to the occasion by going back to the drawing board to re-strategize. It structured and engaged its international creditors. This led to matters assuming a legal configuration, and there were many out-of-court resolving of matters. He admitted to Talavera's having gone through a series of challenges, also that his affairs in Nigeria have been largely misunderstood by many. For those who have wondered what else this driven young man invests his time in when he's not transacting business deals, it definitely is something that gives him fulfillment beyond pecuniary gains: philanthropy. In 2011, he founded the Dickens Sanomi Foundation, DSF, in honor of his father. This foundation supports people in education and health across the length and breadth of Nigeria. Also, it supports autism awareness initiatives and donates to humanitarian disasters across Nigeria and Africa, donating millions of dollars every year in the support of these endeavors. Owing to his selfless behavior, he's been recognized twice by renowned institute, Choiseul, based in France, topping the ranks of the Choiseul 100 economic leaders under 40 who will play a vital role in the economic development of Africa. For a man renowned for pushing his limits, one would have thought he was everywhere in the eyes of the public, but the reverse is the case for Igor, who is notoriously known for staying away from the spotlight. In 2014, he was awarded a Papal Medal of His Holiness Pope Francis for his ongoing dedication to the Catholic Church and support of the Vatican's mission in Nigeria. He donated to cancer research through the Bobby Moore Fund for Cancer Research in the UK to help fund prostate cancer research. This earned him the Martin Luther King Jr. Award, which was held in Washington, D.C. in 2016. More recently, he founded the inaugural Touch or Life Today campaign launched by the Global Initiative for Peace, Love and Care, GIPL, across 3 states in Nigeria, with the goal of reaching 1,000 vulnerable patients who cannot pay their medical bills. The campaign ended on 17th May 2017. Sanomi is working on restructuring his business alongside the trading arm, which is led by the CEO, Marcio Beavalon, a former royal executive with 35 years work experience, and William Brock Tupeni, another seasoned upstream executive, formerly with the Petrofac. Igor remains committed to growing his business ventures across Africa. Igor Charles Sanomi.
In Africa, there's one man who has consistently been a household name and index of reference in the business arena. The name Aliko Dangote apparently stands tall. The Africa's richest man clearly benchmarks success, wealth, and prosperity. Dangote's unflinching love and passion for business are quite phenomenal. These can be traced to his background. Born in April 10, 1957 to Maria Sanusi Dantata and Mohammed Dangote, his maternal ancestors were prosperous caravan traders under British colonial rule, and his grandfather, Alhaji Sanusi Dantata, was a commodity trader. Dangote's grandfather was heavily involved in his upbringing and helped ignite his entrepreneurial spirit. For Dangote, one will ever assume his wealth was handed out or easily channeled. Being an offspring of Dantata, or his success didn't come through daydreaming. Dangote complemented inherited fortune with deliberate hard work and innovation to pave his way to the top. Those who knew Dangote while growing up will not be surprised at his outstanding success. At age 8, Dangote uses pocket money to buy sweets, which he and others sell for a profit. Everything big in life starts from little. Taking a clue from this, Dangote, from a seed loan of 500,000 obtained from his uncle, started business, which he traded commodities and business supplies, primarily cement. By 1981, his firm was successful that he had incorporated other businesses and established the Dangote Group. His empire extended to foodstuffs, including sugar, salt, wheat, cement, haulage, and other business concerns. Among his holdings were Dangote Industries, Dangote Bale Nigeria, Dangote Cement PLC, Benue Cement Company PLC, Dangote Sugar Refinery PLC, Dangote Flour Mills, and Nascent Ally Industries PLC. In addition to his holdings in Nigeria, the Dangote Group has operations in several other African countries. With these giant strides in the business arena, Dangote will forever be grateful to his grandfather for giving him wings to fly. According to Forbes, an American business magazine, Dangote remains the richest man in Africa with an estimated fortune of $13.9 billion. Dangote is one Nigeria, highly decorated with honors as well. His urine service and huge investment also got him both local and international recognitions, like the Guardian Man of the Year in 2015. He won the 2016 African Business Leader Award organized by the African American Institute. Dangote was cited as one of the top most influential Africans by the New African magazine in 2015, 2017, 2018, and 2019. He was recently conferred with the prestigious award of the National Order of the Lion by the President of Senegal. When it comes to breaking jinx, Dangote has it in full measures. He took his pioneering and jinx-breaking adventure to another dimension with the unveiling of the $20 billion refinery, widely adjured as the largest single-train petrochemical refinery in the world. The refinery has the total capacity of 650,000 barrels of crude oil per day and is expected to earn as much as $21 billion in annual income. Situated on 2,500 hectares site at the Lekki Free Trade Zone, Lagos, it is supplied with crude oil by the largest subsea pipeline infrastructure in the world. When fully in operation, the refinery will provide 135,000 permanent jobs in the region. When it comes to family life, Dangote seems to, however, prefer maintaining a low profile. He got married to Zainab in 1977 but divorced at an unknown date. He was later married to Maria Mohammed Rufai. Dangote has 3 daughters named Halima, Maria, Fatima, and he also adopted a son named Abdurrahman. Dangote is one grounded authority that combines real intelligence with self-effacing demeanor, a persona that naturally makes kindness. Like an eagle, Dangote's foresight and unusual business acumen make him a rare to come by. Though he owns chains of business in Nigeria and across Africa, the quest by this uncommon risk taker to conquer more business territories may not wane anytime soon.
Hello, Lagos. Make we yarn.
Hello, if this POS matter, don't pass your call. Listen, go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Then they use fake alert, the warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen to If you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk Glava Road where they worry for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development where they work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse. We dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Uyemike, aka Ogbefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go reach 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
Eko Atlantic has become Nigeria's most sought-after city for its high-end infrastructure, prestige, and well-planned city layout, as reflected in an 8-lane boulevard, about 13 internal bridges, underground cables, and green footprints defined by over 30,000 trees. Additionally, having a building in the city has become a trend among the so-called big boys, as was the case with Old Ikoyi, Victoria Garden City, popularly called VGC, Osborne Foreshore, and now Banana Island. In this special report, Bayo Olaoye states that this talk of "I belong" and the prestige mentality has also spread to the big firms. Before now, Kingsway and Ozumba Mbadiwe used to say that Victoria Island were the go-to locations for high-rise office buildings. These locations are home to iconic developments such as Kingsway Towers, Heritage Palace, Fanfa Towers, the Wings and the Waves, among others, making them Nigeria's equivalent of Silicon Valley. The Eko Atlantic City was modeled after the skyscraper district of Manhattan Island in New York City. It has become the new destination for big-ticket corporate firms which are building or relocating their new headquarters to the 10-square-kilometer city, rising off the coast of the Atlantic Ocean in Lagos. The city is attracting investment interests in both residential and commercial real estate, the latest being MTN Nigeria, preparing to build a new headquarters. MTN is coming on the heels of First Bank, which recently turned the turf to build a 40-floor corporate head office, making the city's most iconic development so far. Prior to this courageous and ambitious entry into Eko City by MTN, First Bank, Dangote Group, and the Embassy of the United States of America have taken positions there, developing a new head office and a diplomatic facility respectively. Much earlier, a co-development company had occupied the city as the developer of the Azuri Towers, offering both residential and commercial facilities for high clients and corporate bodies. Arkland Property Investment and Oak Homes are also in the city, developing A&A Towers simultaneously. These are the residential developments that will be standing on the 22nd floor and the 33rd floors respectively. Other developments are the Pan-African Towers by Periwinkle Residences, Eco Pearl with Champagne Tower and Eco Pearl Black Tower, Amni Towers and Ani International Petroleum Development Company, and Louisville Towers by Total Energy Staff Cooperative and Multipurpose Society. Louisville will comprise 300 residential homes spread between 2 towers, a world-class sporting center and a club, retail outlets, and other facilities. It is designed to employ modern technology to achieve smart living and high standards. Eko Atlantic is an exclusive luxury city with superior infrastructure that appeals to the kind of investors we have seen in the city so far.
The world of business is one filled with men and women willing to dine with risk. And when we seek African business shapers, we see individuals who have denied self to build conglomerates. From controlling over 90% of diesel trade in Nigeria, to almost throwing in the towel, then getting on the Forbes list, we present Olufemi Peter Otedola. The Nigerian businessman and philanthropist was born in Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State, on the 4th of November 1962, into the family of late Sir Michael Otedola, the governor of Lagos State from 1992 to 1993. The University of Lagos Staff School, Akuka, welcomed Olufemi for his primary education and secondary education at Olivet Baptist High School, Oyo. Olufemi proceeded to Obafemi Awolowo University, Ife, for his first degree, graduated and joined the family printing press business, working hard and gaining experience. Femi Otedola ventured out starting Center Force Limited. The company focused on finance, investment, and trading. The oil and gas sector was Femi Otedola's next port of call. From quite a very humble beginning in the oil and gas sector, utilizing the connections and networks of family and friends, he cultivated partnerships in diesel supply chain, him being the last man to the final consumer. Challenges breed opportunities, and in Femi's case, it was a late delivery of diesel from his supplier with a broken truck, and he caught the idea. He could do better and provide better services. He ventured into diesel supply business, buying diesel from a retailer and supplying to companies. Femi Otedola encountered several difficulties securing his supply and timely meeting the demands of his growing clients. This definitely was an opportunity he identified in the fuel retail market. Otedola secured the finance, and Zenon Petroleum and Gas Limited was born, petroleum products marketing and distribution company. Otedola, owner and chairman of Zenon, in 2004 invested 15 billion naira in downstream infrastructure development and acquired storage depots at Ibadan, Apapa, as well as 4 cargo vessels, amounting to a combined total storage capacity of 147,000 metric tons. Zenon Petroleum and Gas Limited also acquired a fleet of 100 DAF fuel tanker trucks. By 2005, Zenon controlled a major share of the Nigerian diesel market, supplying fuel to most of the major manufacturers in the country, including Dangote Group, Cadbury, Coca-Cola, Nigerian Breweries, MTN, Unilever, Nestle, and Guinness. Zenon Petroleum and Gas was the name on major invoices, and Femi Otedola the name on every lips, playing toe-to-toe with major multinationals. Zenon, in a very short period, silenced the competition and almost unilaterally determined the price of diesel in Nigeria. The competitors came to Zenon for supply. Femi Otedola, with the massive success Zenon Petroleum and Gas achieved, bought a 28.7% stake in African Petroleum. Otedola branched into the financial sector and aggressively stocked up the shares of leading financial houses. He became a top shareholder in Zenith Bank, United Bank for Africa, and the largest importer of diesel in Nigeria. He acquired major shares of Africa's Finance Corporation, Mobile Oil Nigeria Limited, Chevron Texaco, and Visa Phone. Otedola has his hands deep in real estate investments, including an acquisition in February 2007 by Zenon of Sterling House in Victoria Island, Lagos from the federal government. Lagos, London, Dubai, Monaco all have the signatures of FO Property Limited. He was appointed chairman of the Transcorp Hilton Hotel Abuja and tasked with driving its expansion and upgraded to a 7-star facility. Otedola has served as a member of the Nigerian Investment Promotion Council since 2004, was appointed by President Goodluck Jonathan to Nigeria's National Economic Management Team. Otedola is Chief Executive and President of the Seaforth Shipping Company Limited and was at one point Nigeria's largest ship owner after extending control over the distribution of diesel products. One of his ships, a flat-bottom bunker vessel with a storage capacity of 16,000 metric tons, was the first of its kind in Africa. In January 2006, Otedola was appointed a non-executive director of Transnational Corporation of Nigeria PLC, a multi-sectoral conglomerate established in 2004 by then President Olusegun Obasanjo to respond to market opportunities requiring heavy capital investment in Nigeria and across sub-Saharan Africa. He held this post until February 2011. Otedola was appointed chairman and chief executive of African Petroleum in 2007 through the acquisition of controlling stake in the business. Following Otedola's entry into the company, African Petroleum share price rose sharply, increasing the market capitalization from 36 billion to 217 billion naira in 6 months. In March 2009, Otedola became the second Nigerian after Aliko Dangote to appear on the Forbes list of dollar-denominated billionaires with an estimated net worth of $1.2 billion. Otedola announced a move to upgrade African Petroleum's liquefied petroleum gas storage terminals in Lagos, Kano, and Port Harcourt in October 2009. Harsh economic conditions necessitated by the slump in the oil prices and credit squeeze of 2008-09 led African Petroleum to record a loss in 2009. With the world oil price crash came difficult moments for Zenon and Otedola. He was very close to complete bankruptcy.
I said to myself, I was not going to have friends and enemies. I was going to have only competitors. I had two options: commit suicide or weather the storm.
African Petroleum, rebranded in December 2010, changed its name to Fort Oil PLC. Otedola paid his near $1 billion debt and invested in the financial industry, making him a top shareholder in Zenith Bank and United Bank for Africa. Otedola restructured the business, focusing on technology and improved corporate governance. And in 2012, Fort Oil returned to profit. Otedola financed 57% of Fort Oil subsidiary, Amperion Limited, which acquired the 414 megawatt Geregu power plant for $232 million in 2013. Fort Oil improved financial position and diversification into power generation resulted in a 1,321% rise in its share price. The first half of 2014 saw the company's pre-tax profit more than double year on year to 4.1 billion naira. Revenue growth for the whole year was 33%. Fort Oil sold 70% of its equity to Swiss commodity trader Mercurial Energy Group in September 2015, giving Fort access to global commodity markets. The deal was thought to have given Otedola an estimated $200 million. In 2019, Femi Otedola sold Fort Oil PLC and announced plans to change focus from oil to power with his company, Geregu Power PLC. Geregu Power PLC became the first power generation company to list on Nigerian Stock Exchange, demonstrating to stakeholders in the sector how they can fix financing and make profits sustainably. The company's market capitalization is now 726.75 billion naira, and the share price now 290.7 naira from the 2.5 billion shares that were listed at 100 naira each. Otedola, the chairman of Geregu Power, sold down a Geregu stake to bring on institutional investors. In October 2021, Femi Otedola was announced as the single largest shareholder of First Bank PLC. FBN Holdings, the parent company of First Bank Limited, witnessed a commendable 437.9 billion naira surge in market capitalization. FBN Holdings appointed billionaire Femi Otedola as the new chairman of its board of directors, effective January 31st, 2024. Femi Otedola has had its share of controversies. Zenon was among the number of companies named in an alleged fuel subsidy scam report. This was followed by a case against Farouk Lawan for bribery. Otedola has also lost in the ever-evolving competing space of business acquisitions. Transcorp and Huheli Power Plant are two notable projects he closely bidded and lost. Femi Otedola philanthropy is quite remarkable. Otedola made a 300 million naira donation to the completion of the National Ecumenical Center in Abuja. In 2007, he gave 200 million to the State Security Trust Fund in a drive to reduce crime in Lagos. Donated 100 million naira to the Otedola College of Primary Education in Egbe. In 2008, he donated 80 million to the Faculty of Agriculture at the University of Port Harcourt. Femi Otedola pledged and redeemed $25,000 to the Super Eagles in the match against Algeria in 2019 AFCON. He gave all 750 students of Augustine University 1 million naira each. Otedola sits comfortably on the Forbes billionaires list of top 20 richest people in Africa. Femi Otedola is married to Mrs. Nana Otedola and have 4 children: Olawumi Christy Tolani, Florence Ifeoluwa, Elizabeth Temi, and Fewa Otedola. Olufemi Peter Otedola is a standout astute business executive.
My name is Yinka Babalola.
My name is Ijoma Pelokoro.
My name is Joshua Hassan.
I am Rotarian or Mosunde Lawson.
It's Ife Rita Ejeze. My friends call me Ife.
My name is Rotarian Lola Dare.
I'm inviting you to keep watching SOUQ News. It's the right station to tune to.
I like SOUQ News. SOUQ News is good.
I want to charge you all to listen to SOUQ News, watch the news.
You can have unlimited news first time.
Find SOUQ News. Be with SOUQ News. Never switch off. You are better for it. SOUQ News is the real thing.
Listen to their coverage and you'll be glad you did.
Turn to your YouTube, turn to your Instagram, turn to all your digital channels and look for SOUQ News.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Please, guys, keep watching
SOUQ News.
Hospitality is a very interesting and dynamic industry. Hospitality industry, very interesting and dynamic. And as we know, we have global best practices, that are acceptable. It's just like norms that are acceptable in the industry. So when you talk about global best practices, it encompasses a lot of things, a lot of dimension, in terms of technology, in terms of service delivery, in terms of training and retraining of staff, even the recruitment, onboarding of staff. There's so many things involved when you talk about global best practices. Well, let me just say the main challenge we have in this climb is orientation, education. In this climb, many people go into the hospitality business without much information about what they are about to go into. You see, the problem with us in this climb is education. You see, many of our hotel owners are not properly educated before going into the business. I've had series of experiences on the field where some people must have wasted fortune and they will now realize that they need consultants. And by that time, let me say it may be late already. Before you go into any business, get to understand, how it works. The hotel business is a very complex business. Like globally, the trend is making sure your guests' expectations are exceeded. And so many, the technology is employed in making sure this is possible. You won't believe that up to now, we still have some of our local brands. In fact, most of our local brands have not even adopted the PMS. PMS is property management software, where you right from the guest arrival, in fact, right from online, by the time you are checking online to know about the hotel, their products and all that, right from online to when you get to the front desk and throughout all your experiences, all these things are captured by a software, makes the experience so robust and all that. Up till now, many of our local brands still find it difficult to adopt this PMS. To them, it's expensive. To them, they don't see any reason for it. And this is what makes, it improves guest experiences. It makes you satisfy your guests. You even exceed their expectations. Makes just just on the touch of a button, things are already happening. In the Western world, they're already going into, AI, right from CRM, customer relations management, service, CRS, and all that. They're already exploring using AI and all that. Here we are still on biro and paper. How do you compare the brands? The local brands are built around the owners. The owner, tells you either he is knowledgeable or not about the business. He runs it like a one-man business. And at the demise of the owner, the business dies. Unlike the global brands. The owners of Marriott are long gone. And Marriott keeps multiplying all over the globe. Right now, they have about more than 1.5 million properties all over the world. They have acquired Sheraton here in Lagos, even 4 Point by Sheraton. You see them expanding. What is the secret? It's all about process, system. When there's no process, there's no system, then you are planning to fail. And it's a common saying that when you don't plan, you're already planning to fail. When there's no planning, many of them go into the business without proper feasibility studies. A young man came in from diaspora, was not just last year, to invest in this same hospitality business, set up a lounge on the island. You won't believe it. 6 months, 100 million was gone. And he had to pack up and return back again. So what is happening? Why is it that the global brands are thriving and our own brands are not thriving? Meanwhile, we should even have some advantages over the global brands because it is natural. We are naturally hospitable. It is our nature in Africa. Hospitality, Africa is hospitality, hospitality is Africa. So all we need to do is to get the formal training and convert our virtue, hospitality virtue, into in a professional way and run the business professionally. Well, actually, it's not by the quality. We still have some boutique hotels, that are doing very well in the country. They are already trying as much as possible to, follow the global best practices. It's not until your hotel is so massive and big before you can exceed your guest satisfaction, No. Even if it's just several rooms, you can still have a brand that can be reckoned with. You know, a brand is not until it's massive before you can say you have a brand. You can have a brand even in a small hotel. You can create a brand. So it's not about of course, we have some hotels that takes care of the middle class and they are doing it perfectly well. But what I'm just saying is majority of them are not doing it well because they have refused to adopt the tech. They have refused, to follow, good processes. They don't care about training. As far as they are concerned, the staff are just slaves. They use them and dump them. They believe that if they don't do well, fire them, hire another person. Your business will be going in circles. You have to create a kind of linear graph, not the one that will just go up and fall down again. Try, to train your staff. Like I always tell people, if you don't train them, don't blame them. Because, you can't imagine spending billions of naira to erect a structure in the name of a hotel, and you cannot even onboard your staff properly. Most of them, they just employ anyhow, put their relatives, and they start running. There is no onboarding program, no vision, no mission, no core values, no SOPs, and and as far as they're concerned, they are running a business. When the owner is not around, nothing can happen. And the guests are complaining. Why is it that you don't have these things in stock? You cannot tell them that our MD is not around. That's why he has not released money. That should be budget. You run such businesses on budget. If he has to release money, he releases the money, as at when the budget is ready and the budget is funded. So the business runs on autopilot. It doesn't have to be there. But most of these local brands, they want to be there to see everything, and it's not possible. It's not possible. Or else, like I said, at the demise of the owner, the business dies. What is the secret behind the companies like Coca-Cola, and all the Marriotts of this world, the Sheraton, etc.? What's the secret? It's because they have process and they have a system. So once there's no process, you're just wasting your time. So and like I always say, a brand is built. It does not come by accident. There has to be intention. It has to be deliberate. You have to be deliberate about building a brand. Well, the truth is, staff will always live where they are not well treated. One thing is to say you are training. Another thing is the environment conducive for them? They are not animals. If they are well treated, they will stay. They receive training. They see a future in the organization. There's nothing like staff handbook. You don't even know your rights. You don't know your privileges. You don't know where the company's right stops and where yours starts. You don't know whether you are entitled to leave or not. In fact, that one is in the hotels. In our climb here, there is nothing like leave. You treat them anyhow. Why will they stay? But go and check out those local brands that have adopted these global best practices. Their staff are not going because they see a future. And the issue of trust, you're talking about trust. It's not peculiar with the local brands. If money can be stolen in the local brands, it can be stolen in the international brands. But the difference is the process. You see, Like most of our clients, when we try to that we consult for, when we take over, I always tell them, look, let's put a system in place. Increase their salaries. Let their salaries be enough. Then those that were there with the wrong intention, by the time the systems are in place, they will leave because they know they cannot steal. Recently, in one of the hotels I consult for, somewhere in Ogun State, we recruited the maintenance officer, and they overheard him talking on phone that, it's like there are no lapses here. Barely 7 days. He was already looking for, lapses to explore, and that he has to leave. You won't believe, within a week, he has already given us a notice that he's resigning. Why? Because there's a system in place. Use this PMS we are talking about. Property management software. It has different modules. You have the front desk module, you have the restaurant and bar modules, you have the accounting module, the inventory module, different modules, and they all work together. It's a central thing. Even the HR module, whereby you onboard your staff on the software. Right on the software, you know whether their documents are complete or not. Those that are 80% complete, what are the outstanding documents, the guarantors, and all those things. But most of these people, when you tell them, it's alien to them. They don't believe it's workable here. All there is, and another thing, another dimension, another thing I noticed about our local owners is, how much was your sales yesterday? The next thing is he has taken everything. He's going to party. No future. The business has no future. And when the employees see you spend like that, see you behave like that, you are also tempting them to start behaving like that, to go into the money if they have the opportunity to, because they don't have a future in that business. They know their future is not guaranteed. Tomorrow the business might fold up because of the recklessness of the owner. You're building a business. Allow it to grow. Nurture it. Let it grow. Let it grow. Let me break it down. Like when I say the front desk module, the module has a lot of features whereby when your guest walks in, or either online, you can book online, and it will reflect right there. You can book right from London. You go to the website, the hotel's website, and right from the comfort of your bedroom, you are seeing the different categories of rooms, just as if you are already in the hotel. And you are seeing the attached rack rates. And you make a pick. And as you pick, you have the option of payment. And as you make the payment, you reserve the date and a future date, and you make the payment. As soon as you make the payment, it reflects right in the hotel on the front desk. For example, you picked room 107, and somebody else walks into the front desk and says, I want room 107. Sorry, it will show that it's no more available, even though you didn't see the guests, but it's been paid for online. Can't you see it makes life easy? It increases, improves the guest experiences. It makes your potential guests or your guests happy, makes things easy for them. So you can achieve that online. You can also achieve it by walking into the front desk, and you can make a reservation. All you need to do is check the rooms. You don't even need to go around and looking at the rooms. It's displayed for you at the front desk. You have it on the screen. You see the different categories of room. You make a pick, and you make payment. Now, when you make payment, a receipt is generated immediately. Another thing is, that's what you call door integration. When you're talking about fraud, you integrate your door. That's the card system, not the iron key, the card system. You integrate it with your software in such a way that once a card is activated, because once payment is made, the card is activated automatically. The owner already gets an alert. In some software, it's called MRS, Management Report System, that a room has been sold. Either you are there or not. It's as clear, as simple as that. You don't need to come, and some owners will come and sit down at the reception to see what is happening. No, you don't even need a camera. Everything is automated. No room can be opened. You can't access any room without the card being activated. And the card cannot be activated except payment is made. It's only the payment that activates the card. Can you see that control? So now another question comes. What about when you want to clean the room? How do you get the card? That's what you call, MasterCard. Or floor card and all that, depending. Now, personally, I advise my clients, you don't activate a MasterCard to work indefinitely, to work anytime, anyhow. We have hours of cleaning. So your MasterCard is activated to work, for example, the checkout time is 12 o'clock. So you activate it in such a way that it's only active between 12 and maybe 3 o'clock or so. Every daily. Once it is 3, you cannot access the room with the MasterCard again. You can see the tech we are talking about. So you can't access any room again. And again, we have energy saving lights, whereby it's only that same card that can power the lights and the TV and the AC in the room. No guest wants to check into a room without the AC working, without the TV working. So it's only that same card that can power the systems. So you won't check me in by 1 o'clock because you have access to MasterCard. And by 3 or 4, once your card is no more active, I'm in darkness. And again, you can always generate a report from the front desk that will tell you how many times, the kind of the entrance, whether the room was opened with the MasterCard or it was opened with a guest card. Right from the report, you see. And when you go to the report and you see that MasterCard open at this time, you say, what happened? Why? Who was the person that accessed the room? So you don't need to be there. A particular client of mine was trying to lease out his hotel, which I always strongly advise against, on the island because he was relocating to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, So I advised him against it. Why do you want to? I've told you to install a PMS since. This will give you some level of comfort because his main reason is that I'm here, right under my nose. They are still stealing. When I leave, what will happen? You don't need to. And thank God he was able to take the advice. We installed the PMS and he saw the difference. Don't underestimate your guests. Even forget the color. They may be black, but they are well traveled. They've been to America, they've been to Europe, they've been to, Dubai. They've lodged in the best hotels in the world, and they know what good service is. So don't think you can just give them any kind of service anyhow. They have an expectation. For every, rack rate, for every money paid, there is a value, an expected value attached to it. Why is it that you see some guests, they'll lodge in 5-star hotels, they pay as much as 1 million naira, 700,000, 500,000 a night. And when they wake up in the morning, because of the kind of treatment, when they are checking out, you still see them giving out tips. They are happy. Meanwhile, this same set will go to some local brands, maybe as a result of lack of availability of such class of hotel in their village or in some, they have a function somewhere, and they pay just 30,000 naira, and you see them complaining and quarreling and getting angry, agitated, Why? Because of the service. 30,000 has a value, an expected value. Same thing with 500,000 naira. If he had paid 500,000 naira in a five-star hotel and he didn't get the attached value, he will complain. But he paid 30,000 and he could not even sleep at night, mosquito, all through the night. The AC is not working. Why? Because there is no process, no system. All these ACs and all these things, they all have, you have a kind of maintenance worksheet, maintenance plan. It does not have to break down before you start repairing it. You maintain them. When the generator has worked for so number of hours, it must be serviced. How often do we check all these things in our local brands? Because there's even no system, no SOP, nothing in place. You just open and start running. It's not done anywhere. I gave an example of someone who brought in 100 million naira and the whole thing disappeared. Let me say, what we should know is that money is inflammable. The whole thing went in flames. That's how I will put it, within 6 months. Why? Because there was no due process. There was no planning. He didn't understand what he was coming to do. He just dabbled into it. In my book, which I'll be launching soon in my event coming up, I call it ABC of creating a great hospitality brand. Simple, steps of creating a brand. I made reference to such owners as accidental owners. You just inherited a property, or you felt, okay, what is moving now? What can we do? They say hotel is bringing in money, jackpot. Many people have gone into it and they've gotten their fingers burnt. So I will advise investors, if you want to invest, do proper feasibility study. Do proper feasibility study. Well, let me give you an example, a practical example. One of my clients started a 23-room hotel in Delta, and according to him, it's almost 3-4 years now. According to him, he spent about 400 million naira. He's smiling today. Right now, there is no day that he does not have a turnover. You can do something smaller, even with 100 million, Yes, it depends. I just gave a practical example. I know of people that have just 7 rooms, and they are making their money every day because they've done, their due diligence. No, definitely, it will reflect on your pricing. And once, like I always tell people, is value for value. I can't be forced to sell my room 10,000 naira because my neighbor is selling for 10,000 naira. I can sell mine for 40,000 naira and still be fully booked. While the one that is selling for 10,000 naira is not even attracting any guests. Why? Because the 10,000 naira will try to say, okay, when it is 12, we turn off the gen because we want to conserve energy. We don't have money to buy diesel and all that. Start rationing. No guests will feel comfortable. These guests, even in their personal homes, they enjoy 24 hours light. they enjoy themselves. Then you now come, to a hotel where you should relax and be able to think properly, and they are telling you they are turning off the gen because they don't want to sell the room high. I'll tell my clients, sell it high, but create the value. When the value is there, make sure you recover your costs. You have to impute all these things, into your costing. Many of them don't even believe there is need for a revenue manager. Apart from the normal manager, you have a revenue manager. You have cost accountants. Apart from the main accountant, people that are in charge of costing. You're selling a plate of food for 7,000 naira. What is the cost? Many of them don't know. And like I said, most of this software takes care of all these things. The recipes are there in the software, programmed, all programmed. So when you have sold a plate of rice, you already know how much is your profit on it. It comes to that. So we have to be very analytical. Yeah, majorly it's let me say government policies. It affects, like in Lagos State now, the clock of consumption tax. Then the federal will still come and say you should pay VAT, which is repetition. Consumption tax is 5%. Then the federal government is asking for 7.5. Is that not 12.5? How? How do you survive? You understand? So these are challenges, and that's one of the reasons, for the vision for my program, which will be coming up in September. It's called Hotel Owners Dinner Outreach. It sort of creates an environment where you have the policymakers, you have the stakeholders, the investors, the owners of hotel, the practitioners, all come together under one roof. Then we dialogue, look at the investment climb, look at the challenges, we rub minds together, and we come up with solutions, possible solutions. Like you cannot be up there churning out rules. You are so far from the players. You don't even know, you can't feel them. You don't know what they are going through. A client of mine, the road to his hotel is terrible. Very terrible. And it's hardly having guests. And this government arm will come and pay consumption tax. Another will pay advert. Another will pay different kinds of local government will come and ask for their own, So like this year's edition, we are bringing in the number one taxman in the state, for example, who will be we call it investment roundtable. Who will be in the panel. We have a representative of the international brand. That's the owners of Marriott Hotel in GRA, Ikeja. He'll be in the panel too. And we have the permanent secretary, tourism, who'll be in the panel. So we'll bring them together. Then we have consultants, practitioners of over 40 years in the industry in that same panel. That's the president of AFCON. AFCON is Association of Tourism and Hospitality Consultants in Nigeria. He'll be in the panel. All of them. So let us discuss. Let's feel each other's pain. Let us understand. The government, tell us why you are taxing us like this and all that. So that's one challenge. Another one is power. Of course, there's nothing we can do about that. It's a national thing, and until it is solved nationally, we'll keep generating our own. While we always advise that, owners should look at, solar, which is environmental friendly. That's even the way, hospitality is going. We talk about sustainability, in hospitality, social, economic, and environmental. Those are other issues again, another topic entirely, maybe for another day. we should just keep it professional. Whatever you are doing, keep it professional. You're building a brand, always remember that a brand is a promise. Make sure you always keep it. You know, a brand is an experience. Always improve the experience. A brand is a reputation. Maintain it.
My name is Shino Ogbadegeshi. I'm the CEO of Gozi Micro Insurance. Continue to watch SOUQ News.
Adenike Adeyemi, Executive Director of Faith Foundation. Keep watching SOUQ News.
My name is Shepherd Michael Adewale Onofuye. I enjoy you all to always watch SOUQ News TV.
Hey everyone, Majuli Obaje here representing Gigi. Keep watching SOUQ News, okay? Stay updated with SOUQ News.
My name is Aton Keme. I am the head of MSME Banking. Please keep watching SOUQ News and stay glued to SOUQ News.
I recommend that more and more people should watch SOUQ News because they deal with business news.
Hi, my name is Amaka Wokolo. I am the director of the Faith Institute at Faith Foundation. Keep watching SOUQ News.
Hello, Lagos. Make we yarn.
Hello, boy, if this POS matter, don't pass your call. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Then they use fake alert, the warriors.
Okay, so Mona, listen, if you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbuefi. They don't walk Glava Road where they warriors for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogbuefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
Lawyers are concerned about several issues when it comes to artificial intelligence, AI, including data, privacy, compliance, and job displacement. Will AI really take jobs away from lawyers? In this special report, Bayo Olaoye addresses one of those concerns, job displacement for lawyers, as a result of the introduction of artificial intelligence. Will artificial intelligence make lawyers jobless? The short answer to that question is no. There are three reasons why AI will not take away jobs from lawyers, according to experts. First, AI systems being developed for the legal industry are primarily co-pilots. Secondly, there are numerous tasks AI simply won't do because legal implications prevent it. For example, litigation. AI cannot make court appearances, unless, of course, nations radically change their constitutions to allow robot lawyers to stand in court, which is highly unlikely. Additionally, for lawyers involved in strategic work, such as security, meeting new clients and existing ones, or serving on boards, AI cannot replicate the human touch. AI lacks the commercial acumen required to build relationships with clients and navigate complex problem-solving tasks. AI cannot engage in the strategic aspects of legal work that require understanding human behavior, negotiating, and making judgment calls. According to experts, AI systems built for the legal industry are designed to function as co-pilots, helping lawyers become more efficient but still requiring human oversight. For instance, AI can draft a clause for you, but as a lawyer, you must ensure that the clause makes sense. AI can assist with tasks like legal research, drafting legal documents, contract review, and identifying red flags. However, human involvement and judgment remain essential as all systems, particularly large language models can sometimes be confidently wrong. Despite its potential to assist in many areas, there are numerous tasks AI will not do for lawyers, either because it lacks the necessary capabilities or because it is unnecessary. Some might argue that AI makes lawyers more efficient. A law firm that would typically hire, say, 8 legal associates annually might now only need 5, using AI to assist those remaining associates. While that may be true in some cases, it does not necessarily mean lawyers are losing jobs, as AI will create new roles and open up career paths for lawyers, according to AI industry experts. For instance, AI companies build products for lawyers, require legal professionals just as much as they need AI researchers and engineers. Lawyers are domain experts who know the pinpoints and can guide the development of legal AI tools. In addition, there is the need for lawyers who will build a career in AI governance, working on AI policy auditing, AI existential skills, and AI enlightenment. In fact, lawyers will play a bigger role in AI governance than we can ever imagine. For instance, the AI alignment problem is one of the biggest challenges in the industry. There is ongoing research on whether we can solve the alignment problem using the law. As it is known, law is the most democratic aggregation of human values. How do we evaluate the ability of AI systems to follow the law? Or how do we ensure that AI systems do not misinterpret the law in case of unforeseen contingencies? Humans have the Supreme Court to interpret laws when faced with complex scenarios. What will be the Supreme Court for AI systems? These are questions that require both lawyers and AI engineers alike to ensure compliance. In fact, universities are recognizing the growing need for lawyers to build careers in AI. Many institutions are now offering master's programs that focus on intersection of artificial intelligence and law, preparing the next generation of legal professionals for the evolving job market. To wrap up, while the rise of AI will undoubtedly transform the legal profession, it will not cause the widespread job loss that many fear. Instead, AI will make legal teams more efficient and open up new career paths for lawyers. Bayo Olaoye for SOUQ News.
Hello, Lagos. Make we yarn.
Hello, Wefi, this POS matter don't pass your call. Person go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
They use fake alert, the warriors.
Okay, so Mona, listen, if you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk that bad road where they worry for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogbefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
Nigeria's economic debate has focused primarily on JAPA, the emigration of skilled professionals. But a quieter shift poses a more immediate structural threat: the aging of the country's farming population and the absence of a generation willing to replace it. The data points to a system that is no longer reproducing itself. The average Nigerian farmer is now in their late 40s to early 50s, often older in practice. Meanwhile, youth participation in agriculture remains low, estimated at between 10 and 33% in a country where more than 70% of the population is under 30. This is not a marginal imbalance. It is a breakdown in the pipeline that sustains domestic food production. Agriculture still employs roughly a third of Nigeria's labor force and contributes about a quarter of the gross domestic product. But its performance is constrained by persistently low productivity. In this special report, Bayo Olaoye examines these constraints and offers solutions to those concerned in the agricultural sector. The constraints are long-standing. What is new is the erosion of the human base needed to sustain even current production levels. Nigeria's agricultural problem is no longer primarily about land and inputs. It is about people. Young Nigerians are not abandoning farming out of apathy. They are responding rationally to incentives. Agriculture offers low and uncertain returns, high exposure to climate and security risk, limited access to finance, and weak market integration. By contrast, even modest urban activities, transport services, retail and digital work provide more predictable income and quicker returns. The opportunity cost is decisive. The result is a quiet but consequential shift in social attitudes. Farming is increasingly seen as a residual occupation rather than a viable career. Intergenerational transfer is weakening. Younger family members decline to inherit farms, while older farmers continue working beyond their productive years without successors. This is not a temporary adjustment. It is a structural disengagement. The economic consequences are already visible. Food inflation has soared in recent years, at times exceeding 40% year-on-year, eroding household purchasing power and deepening poverty. The World Bank has identified rising food prices as a primary driver of food insecurity. Nigeria continues to spend billions of dollars annually on food imports, despite having more than 70 million hectares of arable land. This dependence exposes the economy to currency volatility and external supply shocks. These trends point to a policy mismatch. Monetary tightening, while necessary for macroeconomic stability, cannot address supply-side deficiencies in agriculture. Higher interest rates do not increase yields, attract labor into farming, or reduce post-harvest losses. Inflation, driven by constrained food supply, is not a monetary phenomenon. It is a production problem. Other pressures, including climate variability, flooding, drought, and insecurity in key producing regions, compound the challenge. But even if these were mitigated, the demographic gap would remain. The central issue is not simply how to increase output, but who will produce it. There is some evidence that participation can respond to improved incentives. Periods of favorable commodity prices have drawn younger entrants into specific crops, including cocoa, and encouraged part-time farming among urban professionals. These developments suggest that the current trajectory is not inevitable. Where agriculture becomes more profitable and less risky, labor follows. But such responses remain limited and episodic. What is required is a systematic shift. Raising productivity must be central to this, through greater access to inputs, mechanization, and technology. Reducing post-harvest losses requires investment in storage, processing, and logistics. Financing models must reflect the realities of agricultural risk, while land access constraints should be eased to lower barriers to entries. Equally important is the question of perception. Without credible evidence that farming can deliver stable, competitive returns, younger Nigerians will continue to opt out. Policy statements alone will not alter this calculus. Only sustained improvement in productivity and profitability will. Nigeria's economic strategy increasingly emphasizes diversification and resilience. Both objectives depend, at a minimum, on a functioning domestic food system. An aging farming population without renewal implies declining output, rising prices, and greater reliance on imports. It also implies a more fragile macroeconomic position, with food inflation placing persistent pressure on monetary policy and household welfare. A large youth population is only an asset if it participates productively in sectors critical to economic stability. In agriculture, that transition is not occurring at the scale required. The question is no longer abstract. who will feed Nigeria?
Wole Soyinka, born Akiwande Oluwole Babatunde Soyinka on July 13, 1934, in Abeokuta, Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, stands as one of Africa's most celebrated literary figures and a global icon of resistance against oppression. His life and works reflect an unwavering commitment to justice, culture, and the transformative power of arts. Soyinka was born into a Yoruba family in colonial Nigeria, an environment that exposed him to both traditional African culture and Western education. His father, Samuel Ayodele Soyinka, was a school headmaster, while his mother, Grace Eniola Soyinka, was a devoted Anglican. This blend of indigenous and colonial influences deeply shaped Soyinka's world. Soyinka attended Government College Ibadan and later proceeded to the University College Ibadan, where he studied English and literature. Soyinka completed his education at the University of Leeds in England, earning a degree in English and later a doctorate degree. In the late 1950s, Soyinka began working as a dramaturgist at the Royal Court Theatre in London. However, his passion for storytelling and cultural preservation drew him back to Nigeria, where he founded two theatre groups known as the 1960 Masque and the Orisun Theatre Company. Soyinka's works, often a fusion of Western dramatic techniques and African themes, address universal issues of justice, freedom, and human dignity. His early play, titled A Dance of the Forest, which was introduced in 1960, written to celebrate Nigeria's independence, critically examined the nation's socio-political trajectory, setting the tone for his career as both artist and activist. Soyinka's activism became more visible during Nigeria's post-independence years. In 1967, during the Nigerian Civil War, he called for a ceasefire between federal forces and Biafran separatists. This led to his arrest by the military government, and he spent 22 months in prison, where he wrote a short drama titled The Man Died, Prison Notes, a harrowing account of his imprisonment and a profound critique of authoritarianism. Soyinka has authored more than 20 works, including plays, novels, poetry, and essays. In 1986, Soyinka became the first African to win the Nobel Prize of Literature, an achievement that brought global recognition to African literature. Soyinka remained an outspoken critic of oppressive regimes, often at great personal risk. His activism extended beyond Nigeria, addressing global issues of injustice and human rights. During periods of military rule in Nigeria, he went into exile, continuing to write and speak against tyranny. Today, Soyinka is celebrated not only as a literary giant, but also as a symbol of resilience and moral courage.
My name is Yinka Babalola.
My name is Ijoma Pelokoro.
My name is Joshua Hassan.
I am Rotarian Omosunde Lawson. It's Ife Rita Ejeze. My friends call me Ife.
My name is Rotarian Dare.
I'm inviting you to keep watching SOUQ News. It's the right station to tune to.
I like SOUQ News. SOUQ News is good.
I want to charge you all to listen to SOUQ News, watch the news.
You can have unlimited news, first time.
Find SOUQ News. Be with SOUQ News. Never switch off. You are better for it. SOUQ News is the real thing.
Listen to their coverage and you'll be glad you did.
Turn to your YouTube, turn to your Instagram, turn to all your digital channels and look for SOUQ News.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Please, guys, keep watching
SOUQ News.
Hello, Lagos. Make we yarn.
Hello, boy, if this POS matter, don't pass your call. Listen, go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Then you fake alert the warriors.
Okay, so Mona, listen, if you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk Glaba Road where they warrior for our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development with the work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogwefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go to 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.